I commend most of these guys in this world because they are some real actors. Like, y'all gotta be professional actors. Like, why are y'all not in Hollywood? Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hey boo. But if this is your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, however many times you come back, thank you so much for coming back. So in today's video, we're gonna be talking about relationships. Yay. Yes, we're gonna be talking about these dudes. Let me not say that, but we are going to be talking about the things that I've learned from my past relationships. But before we get started, make sure that you follow me on my social medias. That'll be on the screen and it'll also be linked down below. And make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into the video. So the first thing that I wish that I knew before I got in a relationship, y'all already know who I'm gonna bring up. If you don't know, then you need to get to know me a little better, okay? So I wish that I would have known to put God first. And yes, I know that I was supposed to do that. I've been knew that I was supposed to do that, but it's so easy to get like blindsided by that. God is supposed to be your foundation. God is supposed to be the center of everything you do, every friendship, every relationship. And when I got in my relationships, I got blindsided by that. I wish I would have put him first, because when you don't, you start idolizing the person that you're with, or you start to make them your everything, and you start giving them the time that you're supposed to give God, giving them the love, the attention, and all of that stuff that you're supposed to give God. So I wish that I would have kept that in my mind and in my heart instead of just doing what I wanted to do, because that just left me heartbroken. So yeah. So the second thing that I wish that I would have known was to not listen to social media. Y'all, I realized this like a couple months ago or last year. Like, we really get on Instagram, get on Facebook, get on Twitter, and we listen to 14, 15, 16-year-olds tell us how we're supposed to be in relationships, or how we're supposed to get treated in relationships. I listened to it. I had that because I was like, okay, you're supposed to treat me this way, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that, and if you ain't doing that, then like, no. I wish that I would have known not to listen to those kids that told me what I should have been doing in a relationship. I wish that I would have probably listened to the older people who've had experiences, people who actually know some stuff. I wish I would have listened to them, because like, listening to people my age got me nowhere. And all three of the dudes that I dated, they were not big on social media, so they didn't really know what I was talking about. I'm actually glad that they weren't. I felt like I was brainwashed because social media made me think that a relationship was supposed to be one way, and it actually wasn't, or it wasn't always supposed to be that way. Every relationship is different, so you can't really depend on other people's advice fully. The third thing that I wish that I would have known before I got into a relationship was to know how to love myself and to know how much I'm worth. Knowing that would have saved me so much time. It would have saved me so much energy, and it just would have saved me a lot. Like, I didn't love myself. I'm just now learning how to love myself, and it's been a process, of course. If I would have known how to love myself, then I would have known how I was supposed to get treated. I would have known how I was supposed to get loved by someone else. I would have been able to teach them how to love me, but I didn't know, so I just accepted anything, and I just let stuff slide that shouldn't have been slid. I let stuff slide that shouldn't have slid. I guess I thought less of myself than I actually was, and I did not know my worth. And now that I know my worth and I know like who I am, it's like, don't come to me because you got all of this. You got all of this. All of this. Like, it's me, it's Aysia Danae, and if you don't know how to treat me, then you gotta go. I wish I would have known that I was worth $10 billion and then not to get treated like I was $10, you know? The fourth thing that I wish that I knew before I got into a relationship was to not give my all and basically like lose myself trying to be with someone else, or lose myself trying to be someone that I'm not in order to please someone else. After the relationships, is like I realized a lot. My mama always told me, she was like, don't depend on a dude for nothing. Don't depend on these niggas for nothing. Nothing at all. Don't even depend on them for $1. I just had that in my head. I was like, okay, I'm not finna depend on him. He ain't finna do this. And like, I'm good regardless. But then it's like after we broke up, I realized that I depended on them for a lot. I depended on them to make me happy. I depended on them to keep me entertained, to be my friends. I didn't know what life was outside of them, or I got accustomed to living life with them that it was hard to like readjust. You made me happy when we were together, and so now that we're not together, it's like what makes me happy, you know? When I'm in a relationship, like, you my best friend, like, you my only friend. I ain't gonna say I cut people off, but like my communication with other people is like this much. So it's just like, you're my only friend. So then when we break up, it's like I don't have anybody. I depend on them to be my friend, to take up certain areas of my life that shouldn't have been taken up, or shouldn't have fully been taken up by them. The fifth thing that I wish I knew was that these niggas be fake. They be so I need a feeling. They be so fake, dog. I commend every guy in this world. I ain't gonna say every guy. I commend most of these guys in this world because they are some real actors. Like, y'all gotta be professional actors. Like, why are y'all not in Hollywood? Anyways, everything that they do in the beginning, after a couple months, maybe a couple years, that's done. Like, I wish that I would have known to be more careful with that, because when you if you showed me on the first day or the first couple of days, like, I'm hooked on you. Like, okay, I see you. I'm gonna get treated so good. They said yeet. They are professional actors. They do stuff in the beginning, then they get you, then they stop doing the stuff that they did in the beginning to get you. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, who are you? You showed me this, and now I'm getting this. You showed me up here, and I'm getting down here. Like, I wish that I would have known how dudes are, because I wouldn't have believed them the first couple months of talking. So adding on to that, I wish I would have known to pay attention to the signs in the beginning. It is so true. Like, the stuff that you ignore in the beginning is the stuff that makes y'all break up. I really wish that I would have paid attention to all of that, because like, when you get with somebody and you start liking them, you start ignoring a lot. They tell you a little lot in the beginning, and then you just like, don't do it again, and it's just cool. Like, just make sure it doesn't happen again. And then eventually it's lies on top of lies on top of lies. It's cheating, it's manipulating, it's doing stuff that you just don't like. Just don't ignore the red flags. Don't do it. Don't do it. When you see it in the beginning, run. When you see the signs in the beginning, run. When you see the signs in the beginning, run. Okay. But I'm so serious. Like, I wish that I would have known that, and I wish that I wouldn't have been too blinded to see some of the stuff that could have saved us our relationship, or saved us the time. We gotta start letting stuff slide, like, because no, I'm a female, so I'm gonna say dudes, but this can go either way. But dudes really tell on themselves in the beginning. You just gotta pay attention to it, and you just can't ignore it. Like, we'll see stuff and then we'll stay. We see that you hit me, and then we'll stay. We'll see that you cheated on me, but then we'll stay. We'll see all the little sneaky stuff that you do, but then we'll stay. So personally, I just feel like we should blame ourselves for some of the stuff that we go through. So I also wish I would have known to get to know all the sides of someone before I dated them. The person that you see, or the person that you, or the stuff that you hear when you on Instagram and you get in the DMs and you just hanging out for the first couple days, or you on the phone, even for weeks or months, is not fully that whole person. For example, they can get mad at some little thing and then it's just like a chill mad. Like you don't see the for real mad. You just see a little mad. They'll just be like, oh, that's just how I am. That's as mad as I get. I don't do nothing more than that. You really can't trust everything that they say. When you see them in the beginning, you are happy. You don't really see how they are when they mad, when they sad, when they stressed or whatever. You don't see none of that. I just feel like I wish I would have known to get to know every single side of them before I got truly involved with them. We dating, we good, we happy, and then a couple weeks, a couple months later, I see the real you, and I don't like that. Like, I don't like that at all. So another thing that I wish I would have known was to properly heal before I got into a relationship. I'm not just talking about just healing from an ex. I'm talking about like healing from childhood trauma. It's important to heal from all of that stuff, because if you don't, that's just gonna affect the relationship. That's just gonna affect you in a negative way. Me not healing didn't help the relationship at all, or them not healing didn't help the relationship at all. I had to learn how important healing was, and I had to learn that if I didn't heal, then I put stuff on other people that didn't do anything to me. What's that quote? If you don't heal from what cut you, let me find it. If you don't heal what hurt you, you'll bleed on people who didn't cut you. That is so true, and I've done that, and it has hurt the other person, and it has also hurt me. I just feel like we should all take healing a little more seriously. So instead of just trying to escape the healing process, because when you healing, I would think that you're supposed to be getting better, but it actually feels like everything is worse, or you're actually like having to deal with stuff that you're trying to escape, so you try to rush into another relationship. Yeah, so I wish that I would have healed before I moved on. So I also wish that I knew that the honeymoon stage does not last forever. It's so sad. I feel like it could, depending on the relationship and depending on the people, but being realistic, like all of that sweet stuff is not an everyday 365 days 24/7 thing. Like, you're not always gonna get treated like, well, you should get treated like the queen that you are 25/8. But dang, I wish that I would have known that everyone doesn't agree with the honeymoon stage lasting forever. I was a pretty optimistic person. I was just like, let's be happy forever, and that did not happen. So I was very disappointed. So I wish that I would have known that beforehand. And I also wish that I knew that people change. Yes, of course, we all change, we all grow, life changes us, but it's just like hard to accept it. You were this way in the beginning when I first met you, and then a couple months or a couple years later, it's like you're a completely different person. And of course, that's normal, but in my head, it wasn't clicking. I was just like, we supposed to be this way forever. What's going on? Like, you growing up, I'm growing up. Sometimes I don't even realize I'm growing up or I'm changing. So I just wish that I would have known how to handle change better, because I'm not the biggest fan of change. If I would have understood the concept that people do change, I wouldn't have been the way that I was when stuff did change. I hope I made sense on that. But people do change. Who they were when they were like 20 isn't who they'll be when they're like 25, 26, 27. And then the last thing that I wish that I would have known before my relationships was, I wish that I would have known how to leave. Of course, in our minds, we like, I know my worth. I ain't finna keep dealing with this. I'ma leave if I have to. I'ma do this, I'ma do that. And it's just like all talk. I'm somebody who's gonna fight. I'm somebody who's gonna give my all. I'm somebody who's gonna try to push through until we can't push through no more. That actually like did more harm than it did good. If you do something and I don't like it, and it just like it's disrespectful or whatever, I wish I would have known how to leave instead of giving 1,000 chances and just accepting everything. I know that I was afraid of being alone. I know that I was afraid of starting over. I was afraid of change. I would try to stay where I'm comfortable at, and like I said, it did more harm than good. So I wish that I actually knew how to leave or have the courage to leave. My voice got cracked. I'm not finna cry this time, y'all. I promise I'm not. I don't know what's going on with me. Maybe I need some water. That is the end of this video. I hope that you learned something from my mistakes. I hope that I helped you to realize something about yourself, or help you realize anything. Don't ignore the truth. That's what I want to say. Don't ignore the truth. Don't let your feelings get in the way of the truth. Don't let your love get in the way of the truth, because sometimes if you love somebody, you gotta let them go. Just like, be honest with yourself, and if it's not for you, then it can't be for you, or it won't be for you no matter how hard you try. If you have any questions, or you need to vent, or anything you need to ask me, then make sure that you DM me or you comment down below, and I'll be sure to get back with you, because I am here for you. I promise I am here for you if you need me, even if I don't know you yet. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and remember that Jesus loves you and I love you too. And thanks for watching.